Hi, it's Kim. I'm going to add a yoga video. I created a little space in my room, a new little yoga corner. So I'm excited to start practicing in here. Just carving out this little spot in my home so I can kind of escape and get away when I want to do some yoga. A lot of times I do it in the living room, but I figured this would be a good, nice kind of chill space. Just for myself to do yoga when I don't want to have, the TV or anybody else around or kind of in the background. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and get started out in child's pose. So forehead resting on your mat, big toes touching, knees together or spread wide. So just breathing here. Spread your fingers wide, press into the palms, maybe engaging the arms. And just beginning to focus on the breath. So take a big breath in, fill up. Long exhale out, let it go. So big breath in, fill up, maybe expanding through the ribs and back ribs. And then long exhale out, just let it all go. If it feels good, you can gently roll your forehead from side to side. And just feeling the support of your mat. Beginning to get grounded and just settling in. Maybe noticing any places that are feeling tight, any places that are holding any tension. Just bringing an awareness to it. Trying to open up and release any of that tension throughout your practice today. And maybe just setting the intention of be present for your practice today. So whenever the mind starts to race, coming back to that intention, that mantra, so be present. Maybe thinking be on your inhales and present on your exhales. We'll go ahead and slowly make our way up to our hands and knees. So stack shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We'll take a few rounds of our cat-cow. So we'll inhale our crown to the front, tail to the back. And then exhale, round your back, push out all of the air to your cat. Inhale to your cow. Exhale to your cat. Taking a few rounds of each, just beginning to warm up your spine. Nice long inhales and exhales through the nose. So maybe inhaling be, exhaling present. And just coming back to this whenever your mind starts to race. So let go of our to-do list. Let go of anything else. And just be here on your mat. We'll slowly make our way back to our tabletop position. We're going to extend our right arm to the front, left leg to the back. So flex your foot. Reach your arm and foot in those opposite directions. So dial those toes down, press with that left palm. Maybe staying here if you want to open up the shoulder, maybe reaching back, fishing for that foot. Maybe pressing that foot into your palm. If you have that foot, go ahead and slowly release to your mat. We'll extend left arm, right leg. So pull the body in opposite directions. Press through that hand. Maybe staying here, engaging the core. maybe reaching back, catching that foot, pressing your foot into your palm. So just peeling that shoulder open, breathing here. And then slowly releasing to our mat. We'll go ahead and take a few hip rolls to the right. So maybe getting out any snaps, crackles, and pops. Checking in, seeing how your body feels. Take a few hip rolls to the left. We'll go ahead and make our way back to center. Come into our extended puppy pose. So we'll walk our palms to the front. Reach your tail to the sky. Melt your chest toward your mat. So press into those palms. Should get a nice deep stretch in the shoulders and the chest. If it feels okay, you can release your chin or chest to your mat. Just being mindful of how it feels to you. So kind of meeting ourselves at that edge, but knowing when to stop, when to not go too far. We'll come back to our tabletop position. We're going to go ahead and come into our hero's pose. So go ahead and take a seat on your heels. We're going to inhale our arms to the sky, interlace fingers, press your palms toward the sky. So just get a nice stretch, really reach up. We'll release our left hand to our mat, reach that right arm up and over, and then peel that right shoulder back. So just breathing here. We'll come back to center, release that right hand to the floor or the mat, reach that left arm up and over. Peel that shoulder back. So just breathing here. We'll come back to center and make our way into our first downward facing dog. So we want feet about hip width apart, heels pressing toward your mat. Fingers spread wide, pressing into your palms. Reach your tail to the sky. So you should have a little space between your heels and the mat, just creating some tension. Take a nice deep bend in your right knee. Press your left heel toward the mat. Bend your left knee. Press your right heel toward the mat. And then walk out your dog, bending one knee and then the other. Maybe shaking your head yes, shaking your head no. We'll come back to our downward facing dog, press into the palms, reach the tail toward the sky, melt your chest toward your thighs. Press into the palms. We'll reach that right leg to the sky, bend your knee, peel open your hip, roll out that ankle. Trying to keep those shoulders square to the top of your mat. Reach that right leg to the sky. We're gonna rock forward to our pigeon, so bring right knee to that right wrist. Come into your pigeon pose, so left leg nice and long. Right leg bent to whatever degree feels good to you. Try to get that right thigh parallel to the side of your mat. Go ahead and inhale, and then exhale, melt into your pigeon. So just melting into your mat. Breathing here. You can relax your head and neck, relax your hands, relax your face. Try to just melt into the pose. So our hips have a tendency to hold a lot of tension. So trying to let that tension just pour out. If your mind starts to race, maybe thinking be on your inhales and present on your exhales. So be present. can stay in your pigeon. If it feels good to you, you can come into your king pigeon or mermaid pose or double pigeon. So I'm going to bend my left leg. I'm going to tuck it in that left elbow. And I'm going to try to get a nice stretch here, but just coming to wherever feels good to you. Wherever you are, go ahead and slowly make your way back to your downward facing dog. So we'll reach that right leg to the sky, bend your knee, heel, open your hip. Take any movements here, and then release right foot to meet left. So we'll reach that left leg to the sky, bend our knee, heel, open our hip. So pressing equally into both palms, peeling that leg open, taking any movements that feel good to you. And we'll come into our pigeon on the other side. So left knee to that left wrist. Right leg nice and long. Left leg parallel to the side of our mat, bent to wherever feels good to you. And then just melting into our pose. So breathing here. So being present, staying in the moment, focusing on the breath. So when the poses get tough, when our mind wants to race, focusing on the breath, quieting the mind, slowing things down. So you can choose to stay here if you want to take a different variation, coming to whatever variation feels good to you. I'm going to bend my right leg. Could catch it with a hand, catch it in that right elbow. Just come to wherever feels good to you. So just breathing here. Maybe feeling that nice slow burn of the stretch. And wherever you are, we'll make our way back to our downward facing dog. Reach that left leg to the sky, bend your knee, peel open your hip. Maybe rolling out that ankle, taking any movements that feel good to you. We'll release our left foot to meet right. Go ahead and inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels toward the mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels down. One more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels toward the mat. We'll tiptoe our feet up toward our hands. Come into our ragdoll. So we want to grab opposite elbows. Relax our head and neck. Gently sway out from side to side. So just breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Try to let go of your head a little bit more. Let any stress or tension just roll off your neck and back. And just being present, being here in this moment. So much today, we're constantly busy. We're not quiet or don't even have a chance to be bored. Okay, so just letting go, being here. We'll go ahead and release our hands, heel toe our feet back to about hip width apart. So we'll inhale, halfway lift, pull your back nice and flat. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale your arms to the sky. Hook your thumbs, let your elbows fall out. Go ahead and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then step back to your high push-up. Exhale to low. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. We'll take 3 rounds of our Sun A's, moving with our breath. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. Walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. One more time, walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down. So just breathing here. Coming back to that breath. Coming back to your intention. So being present. Focus on the breath. Let go of anything that no longer serves you. Let go of any other thoughts. And just be here. We're going to step that right foot forward, drop that left knee, reach that right arm to the sky. So press through that left palm, maybe staying here, maybe bringing that right hand to that left hip pocket. If it feels good, you can reach back, catch that foot, press the foot into the palm. Maybe walk your gaze up toward the sky. So just breathing here. If you have that foot, gently release it. We'll bring our right hand to the inside of that right foot. We're going to heel toe that right foot toward the outer edge of our mat and come into our lizard lunge. So you can rock onto the ball of that foot if it feels good. You can melt into the pose, lowering onto the elbows. You can add some movement. If you want to rock onto the outer edge of that foot. And just let any tightness, any tension begin to pour out of the hip. So being here, being present, focusing on the breath. So just doing the work. I'm going to go ahead and slowly make my way back up to my hands, onto the bottom of that foot, and I'm going to come back so that my knee is directly over my ankle. I'm going to shift back to a runner's lunge, so you can point or flex your foot, and this is really all about finding that sweet spot for you. So try to move the hands, adjust that foot. Okay, you might get more from sinking deeper, you might get more from staying a little more elevated. So just listening to your body, trying to get a nice stretch in the back of that right leg. And then we're just gonna make our way back to our downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal out those feet. Again, maybe shaking the head, yes or no, maybe swaying into the hips. Go ahead and inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, press your heels toward the mat. Step that right foot forward, drop that right knee. We'll reach that left arm to the sky, so press into that right hand, really reach those fingertips up. Maybe stay here, maybe bring that left hand to that right hip pocket. And just trying to press that back against an imaginary wall. Press through that right hand, create some length. So peel open that shoulder. Staying here, maybe catching that foot in that left hand and maybe pressing your foot into your palm. So just peeling open that shoulder, getting a nice stretch in that right leg. Breathing here, focusing on the breath, on the present moment. If you have that foot, gently release it. Left hand to the inside of the foot, and we'll come into our lizard lunge on this side. So toes out, heel in, my foot's toward the outer edge of my mat. You can stay here, you can melt down onto the elbows, maybe rolling onto the outer edge of that foot. And just breathing here. Maybe adding some movement. Just allowing that hip to open up. Letting any tension just pour out. So beginning to create some space. You can close the eyes, relax the hands. Go ahead and make your way back up onto your hands. I'm going to heel toe or shift that knee over my ankle and then come back to my runner's lunge on this side. So again, finding that sweet spot for you. Just adjusting where you are, pointing or flexing the foot, or if you enjoy that movement, just getting a nice stretch in the back of that left leg. Maybe flexing that foot, maybe trying to spread apart the toes. And we'll go ahead and make our way back to our downward facing dog. So reach your tail to the sky, melt your chest toward your thighs. Pull your hips back. Spread your fingers wide, press into your palms. Big breath in. Long exhale out. Big breath in, fill up. Long exhale out, let it go. Big breath in, filling up with air. Long exhale out, emptying out completely. We're going to keep our feet on our two separate planes, two separate running boards. Step that right foot forward. Staying on the ball of that back foot, we're going to rise up to our crescent lunge. So back leg nice and long, right knee over that right ankle. I'm going to hook my thumbs, let my elbows fall out if it feels good. Open up that chest, maybe walk your gaze up to the sky. And I'm going to take a gentle twist, so left arm to the front, right arm to the back. Can stay right here, pulling those hands in opposite directions. Maybe releasing the right hand down the back leg, reaching that left arm to the sky. And we'll take a gentle twist. So hands to heart center, left elbow to the outside of that right leg. Press into your palms. Try to stack your shoulders, stack your wrists, stack your elbows. Pressing into the ball of that back foot, engaging that left thigh. Maybe opening up to fly. Staying here, or maybe bringing that right hand to that left hip pocket. If you're feeling super frisky, you can take the bind, reach that right arm under the leg. Maybe using a towel, maybe making a connection with the hands. We'll go ahead and release our hands, frame that front foot, step back to our high push-up, pause here. We'll roll our heels to the right, so coming into our side plank. So right shoulder over that right wrist, flexing the feet. Can always stagger the feet or drop that right knee. Just trying to reach that left arm to the sky. Reach that left hip up. We're going to drop that left hand, come back to our high push-up. We're going to drop our knees, come back to that tabletop position. Inhale that right arm to the sky. Exhale, right cheek and shoulder to your mat. So just coming onto your mat, relaxing here. So threading the needle, melting into that shoulder. If you want a little stretch in that left shoulder, you can bring that left hand to that right hip pocket. If you want to get a little deeper into the shoulder, you can press that left leg nice and long, press into the ball of that left foot. Breathing here. If you have that leg lifted or long, go ahead and drop that left knee. We'll come back up onto the hands. Inhale that left arm to the sky. Exhale, thread your needle, left cheek and shoulder to your mat. So maybe staying right here, maybe bringing that right hand to that left hip pocket. Maybe extending that right leg nice and long, pressing into the ball of the foot. Just breathing here, melting into that shoulder. So being present, focusing on the breath. We'll go ahead and drop that knee if it's lifted. Make our way back to our tabletop position. And for a moment, just press back to your child's pose. So big inhale, long exhale. So inhale B, exhale present. We'll press back to our downward facing dog. So keeping those feet on our two separate planes, we'll step that left leg forward. Rise up to our crescent lunge. So staying on the ball of that back foot, left knee over that left ankle. So we'll hook our thumbs, let those elbows fall out, open up your chest, engage the core to protect the lower back. We'll take a gentle twist to the left, so right arm to the front, left arm to the back. Pull those arms in our opposite direction. Maybe staying here, maybe releasing that arm down the back leg, reaching that right arm to the sky. So nice stretch in that side body. Then release, hands to heart center, right elbow to the outside of that left leg. So press into the palms. Stack the shoulders, stack the wrists, stack the elbows. Maybe opening up to fly. Maybe releasing that left hand to that right hip pocket. If you want to take the bind, maybe bringing that right hand under, trying to make a connection. Just peeling that top shoulder open. We'll go ahead and release the bind if you have the bind. Frame that left foot with our hands, step back to our high push-up. We'll set up for our side plank. So roll the heels to the left, left shoulder over that left wrist. You can stagger, stack the feet, reach that right hip up. Breathing here. We'll release that right hand. Slowly lower onto our bellies. So we'll bring our arms out to a T. Right cheek on the mat. Bend our left leg, left toes to the right side of the mat. So just getting a nice stretch here. And maybe noticing any differences from one side of the body to the other in this pose. I have a tendency to notice that in this pose, one side of my body has a little more tension or almost a little pinch. So try not to judge it, just try to become aware of any differences in the body. So being present, maybe sending the breath there. We'll come back to center. Bend our right leg, right toes to the left side of the mat. So left cheek on our mat. And then any subtle movements with that right leg here might make a big difference. So just breathing here. Focusing on the breath. So be here now. Feel the support of your mat. Feel the power of your breath. Come back to center. Bring our hands under our shoulders, tuck our toes. Press up to our high push-up, press back to your downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, heels toward the mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels down. One more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, heels down. We're going to tiptoe our feet toward our hands. Heel toe them toward the outer edges of our mat. Take peace fingers around big toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. So relax your head and neck. You can take any movements that feel good to you. Maybe swaying it out from side to side. If you need a more restorative pose, maybe bending the knees, relaxing the belly onto the thighs. If you're working on flexibility, maybe trying to pull your body closer to your legs. Go ahead and inhale, halfway lift one more time. Exhale, forward fold. Try to let go just a little bit more. So being present, breathing here, focusing on the breath. We'll go ahead and release our hands, turn our heels in, toes out. So we'll sink down to our Buddha squat, maybe bringing hands to heart center. Compress the elbows into the legs if that feels good to you. Can stay here if you want to take a twist. Bring that right hand to the inside of the left leg, or inside of the right leg. Press your arm into your leg. Reach that left arm to the sky. Maybe walking the gaze toward the palm. If it feels good, you can bring that left hand to that right hip pocket. Or if you want to take the bind, bringing that right arm around that front leg, trying to make a connection with the hands, or maybe grabbing the shirt or a towel or a strap. Just trying to peel open that shoulder and maybe walking that gaze up. We'll go ahead and switch sides, so if you have the bind, release it. Bring the left hand to the inside of that left foot. Reach that right arm up. So maybe walking the gaze to that right palm. Maybe bringing that right hand to that left hip pocket. If you want to take the bind, maybe bringing that left arm around the knee. Making a connection with the hands. And then maybe walking that gaze up, trying to peel that shoulder open. So if you have the bind or the half bind, use your body, use your hand to help to create that opening. Use your body to pull and stretch and open up. If you have the bind, we'll release the bind, release our hands to our mat. So exhale, forward fold. We're going to track our toes forward, so hips can be, or feet can be a little bit wider than hip width apart. I'm going to come into my gorilla pose, so palms up, toes meet wrists. Inhale, halfway lift, try to pull your back flat. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Again, you can have a slight bend in the knees. You can work towards straightening the legs, pulling the body toward them, or adding some movement. Maybe shaking your head yes or no. We'll go ahead and release our hands, heel toe our feet back to about hip width apart. So we'll inhale, halfway lift. Take a nice deep forward fold. Inhale your arms up to the sky. So hook your thumbs maybe the opposite way. Engage the core, let those elbows fall out. We'll release hands by our sides. Go ahead and interlace fingers, press palms to the floor, and then palms up to the sky. So get a nice stretch. Pull your body in those opposite directions. We'll release that right hand down that right leg. Reach that left arm up and over. So trying to root through the feet, staying grounded. Trying to keep that core engaged. Sucking the belly button to the spine. We'll go ahead and switch sides. So left arm down that left leg, right arm up and over. Peel that shoulder open. So again, engaging the core, pressing into all four corners of the feet. One more time on each side. So right hand down that right leg, left arm up and over. And then come to the left. So left arm down, right arm up and over, rooting down. Opening up that shoulder, spread those fingertips. We'll come back to center. We'll take our tree pose today. So our tree pose, we can open up the hips. We want to root down. So press that left foot into your mat. Get nice and grounded, nice and stable. We'll bring our right foot to a kickstand, to our calf or thigh, just avoiding the knee. So press that foot, press that thigh together. Try to press them into each other. Try to peel open your hip. Sorry, apparently my phone is going to die. Root down, maybe growing the branches, rise up. Press through the foot, reach through the crown, engage the core, peel open your hip. We'll go ahead and release hands to heart center, release that right foot, and roll out the ankle. We'll take our tree on the other side, so left foot to that ankle, calf, or thigh. Press the foot, press the thigh together, peel open the hip. Stay grounded into that foot, reach through the crown. Maybe growing the branches, maybe relaxing the shoulders down the back. So being present, being here. Release our hands, release that leg. So we'll take our tree on the right side again. Different arm variation this time. So right foot to wherever's comfortable for you. Press your foot, press your leg together. Can always keep hands at heart center. Maybe interlacing fingers, pressing the palms down, and then reaching the palms up. So pulling the body in those opposite directions. Finding that balance, squeezing into that center line. We'll release the hands, release the legs. We'll take our tree on the other side. So left foot coming to wherever feels good to you. Press the foot and the leg together. Interlace fingers maybe the opposite way. Press the palms down and then reach them up to the sky. We'll go ahead and release the hands. Release the foot, maybe rolling out that ankle. So we'll take one more little hip opener. We'll bring that right ankle to the top of that left thigh. We're just going to go ahead and sink down. So you should really feel a good stretch on the outside or that right hip. And just sinking down to wherever feels good to you. Trying to get that stress, that tension, open up that hip. Let it all just pour out. We'll come back up to standing, release that foot, and we'll do it on the other side. So left ankle to the top of that right leg. So sinking down, maybe flexing that foot, maybe finding a focal point, focusing on the breath, remembering to breathe, being present, being here. So sometimes sitting with that tension, sitting with whatever it is, breathing through it. We'll go ahead and make our way out of the pose. You can roll out your wrists and ankles. We'll inhale our arms to the sky. Exhale, take a nice deep forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift back nice and flat. And then step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. We'll go ahead and drop our knees, cross our ankles. We'll make our way into a seated position on our mat. So legs nice and long. Flexing the feet. We'll inhale our arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. So trying to keep a nice flat back. Maybe flexing those feet. If it feels good, you can always pull back on the feet. So really making it a nice active pose. You should feel that slow burn. Breathing here. We'll come back up to our seated position, right foot to the outside of the left leg. Sit up nice and tall, flex that foot, twist to the right. So maybe gazing toward that right shoulder, maybe reaching that crown up. If you want to take a half bind here, bring that right hand to the left hip pocket. If you want to take the full bind, you can bring that left arm under that bent leg. Maybe making a connection. We'll come back to center, right foot to the inside of that right leg, reach that right arm behind the hip, and then left arm and hip reaching to the sky. So extend through that left arm, nice stretch in that left side body. We'll come back to our seated position. Right leg nice and long, left foot to the outside of that left leg. Twist to the left, so maybe flexing that foot, reaching the crown up. If you want to take the bind or the half bind, coming to wherever feels good to you. And again, maybe noticing any differences on one side compared to the other. This side is a lot easier for me. The other side is a lot harder. So we all have just differences in our bodies. Sometimes one side just feels better than the other, or is more open. Maybe flexing that straight leg, that foot. If you have the bind, release the bind. We'll come back to center, left foot to the inside of that right leg. Reach that left arm up, plant it behind that left hip. Right arm and hip to the sky. Really reach through that right arm, nice stretch in that side body, peeling open our shoulder. We'll come back to our seated position. We're going to come into our fish pose. Go ahead and take a seat on your hands. We don't want to collapse into the pose. We want to pretend that we're laying over a giant beach ball. So open up, expand your chest. Imagine laying down over a beach ball. So coming on to the elbows, onto the crown of the head. Breathing here. slowly make our way onto our backs. Go ahead and come into your happy baby pose. So grab the outer edges of the feet or peace fingers around big toes. Press your lower back toward your mat. Maybe rocking it out from side to side. So just breathing here. We'll come back to center, hug that right knee in, extend that left leg nice and long. Pull the right knee over to the left side. So arms can be out to a T. You can grab onto that leg if you want. Just trying to keep a connection with our shoulders to the mat. Breathing here. So be present. Twist out those toxins, wring your body out like a wet towel. We'll come back to center, right leg nice and long. Hug that left knee in. Left knee over to the right side of the body. So arms out to a T. Keeping that shoulder, that left shoulder, both of our shoulders connected to the mat. We'll come back to center, plant your feet about hip width apart, knees bent. Right ankle to the top of that left leg, and then hug that left knee into our chest. So you can point or flex the feet here. So just opening up that hip. Kind of ending back where we started. Trying to open up the hips, trying to let go of stress, of tension. And we'll go ahead and switch sides. So left ankle to the top of our right leg. Hug that right knee in. Again, pointing, maybe flexing the feet, adding any movement that feels good to you. So breathing in, exhaling out. We'll go ahead and straighten the legs, reach them up toward the sky. Can relax arms by our side, maybe wiggling the fingers, the toes, maybe rolling out the wrists or ankles. And then curl up into a tight little ball. Give yourself a great big hug. Squeeze your fingers, squeeze your toes, squeeze all of the muscles in your face and body. And then just let go, coming into your final resting position. So letting the feet fall toward the outer edges of the mat. Palms up, closing the eyes. Just breathing here. So be present. Seal your practice in, focusing on the breath. Whenever you're ready, slowly rolling over onto the right side of the body. We'll make our way up to a seated position. Bring hands to heart center. The light within me honors the light, love, and peace within you. Together we bow forward and say, Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for your practice today. I hope you have an awesome rest of the day, rest of the week. Namaste.